So what were my first impressions of the 2011 Shelby GT500 when I first picked it up in Edmonton and drove it all the way 2,200 kilometers to Whitehorse, Yukon? Well, the first thing I noticed was how comfortable the car is to drive. The seating position, the seats themselves, the suspension, the rims and tires. Very comfortable car to drive, very sure on the road. Now the tires obviously in cold weather do not grip, and the 550 horsepower and 510 foot-pounds of torque does not help that either. And you realize the car has a lot of power real quick. You learn to respect this car because you get into the throttle, and if she snaps on you, you got to be ready for it. Driving on the highway on the way home in some wet conditions, it snapped loose on me a few times, and you realize real quick that the traction control works really well, and that the car does want to come around and save itself when it does get a bit out of shape. But I really enjoyed the drive home. I drove 10 hours from Fort Nelson to Whitehorse on my last day of driving, and when I got out of the car, I was not sore. I was very comfortable. I could have driven another 10 hours, no problem at all. And this car, you want to keep driving it. That's another thing about it as well. I didn't realize how many people knew what this car was. I came out of the gas station in Fox Creek, and there's 3 people talking in front of my car. And I don't mind, obviously, right? I mean, I wasn't expecting the attention the car got, but I'm a car guy. I don't mind talking about the car. And one lady pulled out her phone and wanted me to blip the throttle a few times so she could take a video for her son, so I thought that was pretty cool. But the car looks awesome. Obviously, with what Shelby does to the car, after they get it from Ford and do their own things to it. Obviously an all aluminum block, 5.4 liter at 330 cubic inch small block with a heat and roots blower on top of the motor. Now obviously I'm going to get a smaller Whipple, so a smaller pulley, so it spools up faster. You can easily get these cars to produce about 20 pounds of boost. So I already know what kind of mods I want to make to the car, and now that a buddy here in town, Man Deep Sadu, wants to race his import all-wheel drive turbo car against my domestic rear-wheel drive blown supercharged car. So this will be quite a fun race. I'm sure we'll go down to Mexico to do it. We're not going to race illegally street race in the streets of the Yukon. That's for sure. So we'll have to drive down to Mexico and do that vid. Definitely we'll have the GoPro on the car for that one. Win or lose, it's still fun to take the cars out and enjoy them for what they were built for. Performance, street cars. Now here's the thing as well, is this car was purpose built to be a street legal race car. I am going to put a roll cage in it, obviously for safety, but also for looks. I mean, every race car, you can't really call it a race car if it doesn't have a cage in it. And obviously the air intake, the exhaust are things I'm going to do. All the real important stuff though, I mean, it's already been taken care of for me. I'll probably get a shift light put in here so that when I hit 5,500 RPMs, I can bang the gears. The car does go to $6,000, but I never take any of my cars to redline. I look for longevity as much as performance. There has to be a balance there. If you're just all out all the time, your car is going to be all out too and busted up, and you're constantly buying parts and it's down, right? So that's one thing I like about my 86 Ford Mustang GT 5 liter. Very reliable. It's never broke down. And just like that car, this car, there's all kinds of aftermarket support. All kinds of different companies producing parts for this car. So I'll probably go with the exhaust for sure. I'll probably go ones that doesn't have mufflers. I like the loud. Just like me, my car is loud. So do some catbacks, do the air intake, do the pulley, and right off the bat there, you're letting the car breathe a whole lot better, and it produces a whole lot more power. And some Michelin Super Sports for the back, and probably some ET drag radials as well. If I want to keep up with 650 all-wheel drive turbo cars, I don't think I'd be able to do that on a Goodyear Eagle F1 or a Michelin Super Sport. So I'll just keep helping people buy cars to earn a living, so I can turn around and support myself and put a little bit of extra dough into this car, and have fun with the friends in the car community. And I look forward to seeing what happens next year with this car. And please stay tuned. If this is your first time stopping in, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, and stay tuned for future content.